In this video, I'm going to tell you the things that all the locals know in Mobile, Alabama. Hey, my name is Jeff Jones with Keller Williams right here in the beautiful city of Mobile, Alabama, where I've lived my whole life. And so I'm going to peel back the curtain and share with you some things that all the locals know. But I tell you what, I absolutely love it when my phone rings and people have questions about the area, about moving here, what's it really like? And so I love that. So don't hesitate to reach out, call my number, shoot me a text message, send me an email, any way you want to connect. I look forward to helping you. But don't forget, we've got an audio and video podcast called Living in Mobile, Alabama. So definitely check that out at the link below. And also, hey, if you want a free copy of the city guide put out by the Mobile Chamber of Commerce, well, check that link below as well, and you can do that also. It's got lots of great information that I know you will love. So as we get started, let me just say this. I've lived here for almost 50 years, so all these things I can attest, they are absolutely true, and all the locals, we just take it for granted. So if you're moving here and you want to fit in like a local, we'll learn these things and it will absolutely help you out. So the first one are the initials DIP. We just call it DIP, and it stands for Dauphin Island Parkway. And so, when people say, hey, I'm going down to DIP, well, we all know what that means. But Dauphin Island Parkway, be very careful. The spelling of that is DAUPHIN, not like the animal. It's very different. So we've got Dauphin Island Parkway, we've got Dauphin Island, and we've got Dauphin Street. And there's also an amazing restaurant downtown called Dauphin's, or as some folks like to say, Dauphins. Auburn or Alabama, you absolutely have to make a choice. You move here, you're like, I don't even care about football. Well, let me tell you, you don't get to do that. You have to make a choice. A lot of folks here, they're Alabama fans, whether they've been to Alabama or not in terms of the university. But usually, if you're an Auburn fan, most of those folks, well, they actually went to Auburn. So, there's this huge rivalry. And I tell you what, somebody commented on a post recently when I was asking about these questions, and they said, if you want to have the fastest, best grocery shopping experience in the world, go during the Iron Bowl when Alabama and Auburn play, and there will be no one in the store. When people say, hey, we got to go across the bay, well, that doesn't mean any place specific like Spanish Fort, Daphne, Fairhope, Foley, Orange Beach, Gulf Shores. They're just referring to the east side of Mobile Bay in general. So just understand, going across the bay, that means that entire area. And getting there is important. Are you going to take the Bayway or are you going to take the Causeway? And another thing that locals know is if it's in the summer and it's crazy beach traffic, well, you definitely want to take the Causeway. One thing that really sets Mobile apart is that Mardi Gras actually started right here in 1703. Now you have to get that straight. You may have always heard that it started in New Orleans, but that is not true. Mardi Gras started in Mobile, Alabama. And so that's one thing that we're very proud of. If you talk to anybody over in New Orleans, well, they're going to try to, sweep that under the rug. They're going to kind of play that off. But it's true. Mardi Gras actually started in Mobile, Alabama in 1703, and we can take pride in that. Turn off your lights when the termites are swarming. This is something that doesn't happen very often, but when it does happen, in fact, it just happened a few weeks ago around here. You're sitting at home, you got your lights on, and all of a sudden, you're kind of hearing something like go up against your windows, and you're seeing something outside. And you get up close to the window and realize termites are everywhere. So run through the house, cut off the lights, and just sit there real still, and they usually go away. But it only happens for a few days, but I could not believe it this year. They were pretty bad. But of course, if you're buying a house in this area, you're going to want a termite bond to take care of those things for sure. Hey, where'd you go to school? I added the little country accent there. But that question gets asked a lot with the locals around here. Where'd you go to school? They are definitely not referring to college. What they're asking about is where'd you go to high school? Is it Davidson, Murphy, Shaw, LaFleur, Blunt, Viger, all those different schools? That's what they want to know. Where did you go to high school? So if you ever get asked that question, don't tell them LSU, don't tell them any college. They want to know where you went to high school. If you want to go to dinner on a Sunday, well, you need to go before 3 p.m. Now, I say that jokingly, but the truth is a lot of places close early in Mobile on a Sunday. Often, they only serve lunch and they close around 3. But there are other restaurants that aren't even open on Sunday. Lots of shops, restaurants, all sorts of places close on Sunday, which honestly, I think that's a great idea. But if it's not like that where you're from, you will definitely have to get used to that. A lot of places close on Sunday, so you either got to cook at home or, well, choose one of the places that are open. Always, and I mean always, carry an umbrella. And I don't mean always in your purse or on your person, but in your car. In fact, in my car, I've probably got 2 or 3 at all times. I've got a small, medium, and a large. Just depends on how much rain we're getting. But the weather changes so much, you absolutely have to carry an umbrella. Put it in your trunk or put it in your back seat so you can reach for it, because you might drive and you're not experiencing any rain, and then a few minutes later it's pouring down. Well, you might not be able to go get it out of your trunk, so I always prefer to keep it in my back seat. Traffic lights are often just a suggestion. I've heard that said a lot of times because people, well, they're in a hurry, and sometimes drivers down here are pretty crazy. The other day I was coming up on a yellow light and I went to slow down, and man, this car was just flying past me. And by the time it got up to the light, it had been red for a full 2 seconds. Now, that's dangerous. I'm not joking about it. I think that's very serious. But just understand, when you're at the red light and it changes to green, before you go, sit there and wait a second or two. It may save your life. And the last one, which I think everybody needs to know. A lot of the phone calls I get are like, hey Jeff, what's the weather like? Does it snow? Does it rain a lot? Like, what is it like? Well, my answer is all of the above. The weather in Mobile is always changing. And so the phrase you need to be aware of is, hey, if you don't like the weather, just give it a few minutes, it will change. And that is a fact. The weather in Mobile, it really is crazy. The other day, I was driving in my car and it was hot, it was sunny, and all of a sudden it was raining. I'm like, how does this happen? And we see that from time to time. The weather changes quickly. And often, in the summer, you've got all these summer rain showers, and it only happens for a few minutes, and then after that, the weather's beautiful. And so keep that in mind. You can't plan for the weather. That's why you have to bring your umbrella. And the other thing, this is like a bonus section here, but always bring a jacket with you. So, you go in a restaurant, there is nothing like the cold of a restaurant in the middle of the summer. I always come prepared. So bring that jacket and definitely bring the umbrella. All right, all you locals, did I miss anything? Well, if I missed something that you think everybody needs to know about because all the locals know it, well, leave a comment below and I'll be sure to make another video on that. But I wanted you to have the insight so that when you move here to Mobile, you won't be talking and people look at you funny and say, well, we can tell he's not from around here. I want you to fit in. I want you to feel comfortable. So hopefully these things have helped. But hey, don't forget to like and subscribe. We're always dropping new videos about all things Mobile and Baldwin County, basically in general, all of Lower Alabama. But my name's Jeff Jones with Keller Williams, and I love getting to do this. So don't forget, shoot us a message if you have questions, an email, text, any way you want to reach out. But don't forget about the podcast, check that out, and get you a copy of the free city guide. There's some amazing things in there that talk about the workforce. They talk about entertainment, they talk about schools, all the things that you need to know about living in Mobile. So I can't wait for the next video where I'm going to share even more things about living in this amazing city.